I look at it more from an employee and the media perspective today, I think the media is transcending across people. I think individual employees are becoming media houses themselves. So it's a matter of time before people start talking and they are a media piece themselves. Huge challenges within an organization, whether to allow them to speak or not to speak. While we believe this country is free and there's freedom of speech, almost every company has enough barriers when it comes to communication. I think there are filters, there are, social networks are not allowed, internet's not allowed in some of the largest companies I know of. I think the bigger challenge is if you look at, suppression leads to oppression. And I think that comes out in the employee, and when he's actually out of it, he actually speaks the loudest. And that's a dangerous thing. So somewhere down the line, I think while there's a lot of technology involved in this in the HR space, I think humanizing that technology, managing employees right, especially in the social media world today, where people have a voice of their own, I think becomes critical.
As far as the industrial relations is concerned, it had relegated to a lower place or lower priority in the past few years with the advent of the IT and ITES sector, where the opportunities were very high. The industrial relations scenario will again come back to the fore, because as the level of saturation comes in this segment, people feel the need of protection of their rights, employment opportunity, employment rights, and etc. And that's where they feel the need of looking at either the unions, associations, or the legal recourse to protect them. And once that level comes, that's where the industrial relation thing will come to fore again.
I think the world is going through a crisis, not only on the economic front. I think there's a challenge to the planet. There's a challenge to the profession's credibility with regard to how they connect between various other professions within their own organizations and the communities that the organization can foster responsibility for. Communities, I mean the academic world, I mean the sectors that have to do with health, public institutions, whether they be private or public sector banks, including insurance sectors that seem to connect all of these communities. There's a lot to do with new institutions that need to come up. Simple ones, for example, if knowledge is something that is core to the conference here, one indicator of knowledge is the access to libraries. I find that abysmally low. So we depend on private libraries to a certain extent. Certain metros have the British Library, but we don't have high quality libraries to do service to professions like this one. So if that be a barometer of knowledge, I think that's something that I see as a challenge going forward. That's just one simple indicator. Similarly, many such things that I look forward to.
A matrix in terms of deliverables is very, very important for human resources. For instance, if you're talking of talent acquisition, the quality of talent is essential for the CEOs or the organization to see. If it's development, the quality of development, how many successes do you have in place is important. It is also essential to have retention, again, very, very key, so that the company values, the company bonds, they're all there, and you move up to the next level of human resources.
HR challenges are huge for any company today, and also for my company. And I think it centers around attracting and retaining people. It is as simple as that, but there are a lot of things that have to be done in a certain systematic fashion. And therefore, I would say ensuring that we attract talented people and we retain them, because there is going to be a flow of people coming and going, and that is all right, because India is an emerging economy and there is shortage of talent. But I think the challenge for me would be to be able to retain all the good people, and provide them with a career opportunity in the organization. I think that is the single most important challenge.
I come from the area of performance management system, and I also touch a bit of compensation management. I think there are enough amount of challenges in India, especially where both the areas, the functional areas are concerned. The very first thing is, the basic idea of a performance management system is to have a very balanced perspective for the companies. Initially, they just focused on financials, and now, we are looking more towards sustainability. That how exactly we ensure that whatever we are doing in the short run also is equally applicable in the long run success. So that is one challenge area where we have to balance. Second, if you talk of HR challenge, I suppose one thing we haven't really addressed is employee part of the organization. We have looked at financial, we looked at competition, we looked at globalization, but where we come from, what culture we come from, what expectations we come from, and how can my aspiration actually get connected with the organizational aspiration and the further, national aspirations. I mean, the questions we need to address. So yeah, endless amount of challenges, I would say. Culture fit, individual, group and organization fit, then balanced perspective, short run versus long run, endless amount of challenges we have in HR. Lot of it we are meeting, but lot of it we have to really think again and meet it, in future.